rollercoaster. From a new all-time high on Monday to meltdown on Friday, it's been a wild week for Bitcoin. Record liquidations. Crypto plunges as Donald Trump lets fly at China on social media, but the real villain is leverage. We break down what happened in a traumatic 24 hours. What now? As the smoke clears, the questions pile up. Bull market over? Alt season cancelled? Crypto cooked? Stay tuned for the answers. And a look at last week's top gainers. Yes, there are some. Tweets of the week, TA from Lewis, dates for your diary, and much more besides. This is the Coin Bureau News, live.
I'm loving it, and welcome to the McDonald's drive-through window. My name is Nick, and I will be taking your order today. Guy, would you like some fries with that order of liquidation?
Put those fries in the bag, bro. My word. How was your weekend?
Oh, it's amazingly eventful, you know. Not looking at the screens at all, completely touched grass. What happened, Guy?
Oh, well, you know, nothing.
Anything eventful,
nothing big. Crypto took a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah.
Just a normal weekend. I tell you, on Friday night, me and Mrs. Guy, we went out to dinner on the Palm with some friends. Quite a lot of wine was consumed. Our host was.
I'm surprised you could afford a dinner on the Palm, given what happened.
Well, you know, if I'd known, actually, we were going to someone's house, but quite a lot of wine got opened. By the time we got out, I hadn't checked my phone all evening. And, you know, I'd had a few, and I sort of looked at the news in the taxi on my way back. And it was like, I can't deal with this now.
I winced my way up from my phone in the mornings because I saw it crashing overnight, and I was like, this is not going to end well. But it was a crazy weekend, one of the biggest liquidation events ever in crypto. I mean, it's like we're saying that every single second month. Yeah, it's crazy. It seems like leverage traders just don't get the memo, right?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of leverage this time is absolutely insane. I mean, this is, you know, when you look back to FTX, when you look back to COVID, you know, those were big crashes. But in terms of actual leverage liquidations, they got nothing on what happened on Friday. Absolutely, they don't even come close, and that is crazy.
Open interest completely got smoked. But we'll be covering all of that, guys. We'll be taking a look at the week of Bitcoin last week in terms of exactly what happened and what led up to that massive cascade in liquidation. We'll look at those exact liquidations and why it was so vicious and what exactly happened to the altcoins as well.
Yeah.
And then, most importantly, what happens now?
Yeah.
What does this mean for altcoin?
What does happen now?
Is altcoin season basically just a dream and now? It's basically just a dream and a hope, you know? So we're taking a look at all of that, of course, guys. So, and let us know how you're feeling. Your sentiment is very important to us because it helps keep us hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, after the weekend we've had, I've been looking forward to the comments today. Comments always raise a smile. So do your best work down there, folks. And we should also say, don't forget to hit the like button as well.
The bell.
Give us a good old thumbs up. Now, last week we did get the requisite number of likes, and we did share some portfolio alpha with you for all the good that did. But we're going to do something a bit different this week, right, Nick?
Yes, we are, guys. So look, guys, if we manage to get 1,000 likes during this stream, in the next stream, we will get Guy to wear... What do we think?
Well, given all the crime that's clearly been going on over the last few days, what else could I wear? So yes, if we get 1,000 likes, I will do next week's stream dressed as Sam Bankman-Fried. You know, got the wig already, got the prison jumpsuit as well.
Will you speak like Sam the whole stream?
How does Sam speak again? No. That would make me want to do harm to myself.
Could we get you to eat like a courgette or like a zucchini during the stream like Sam Bankman-Fried does?
A raw zucchini. Oh, horrible. Yes, so hit that like button if you want to see me do next week's stream as Sam Bankman-Fried.
Come on, guys, we need to see that. We need to see that. Come on, let's break the internet with Guy and his SBF impression.
Yes, and don't worry, we will think of an interesting thing for Nick to dress up as in a future stream as well. Don't think he's going to get off the hook for this one, folks. But yes, let's so hit that like button. Let's dissect what was a mad week.
Well, if you'll cast your mind back to last week, Monday, it was a quite euphoric day, actually, because we broke through a new all-time high of $126,000.
That feels like literally years ago.
Oh man. Anyways, we broke through $126,000, and some people were saying, "Wow, this has caught us by surprise. I wonder if this is a scam pump." Well, we'll see. It was also a massive day for ETF inflows. We had $1.19 billion of inflows on that day. That was the second largest inflow day ever since the ETFs launched. So
everything was just going fine. Everything was going according to plan.
There was a bit of a pullback though on Tuesday, and this was Harold the pain there, hiding the pain. It was mainly driven by short-term whales who were taking profits on their large unrealized profits.
And we've seen this a lot, really, where as Bitcoin's been making new highs over the last few months. There's a lot of whales, a lot of OGs often unloading.
And short-term whales now have been taking profit. It did not deter those ambitious TradFi price predictions. JP Morgan came out with a 165K prediction, and Standard Chartered 200K. Ambitious. And what's also pretty crazy is how Bitcoin's volatility has been coming down lately. It's not as volatile as it once was, or so we thought last week Tuesday.
Yes, that chart is a little out of date, but it is interesting in the context of what came next.
It is. To be fair, though, usually if you have like a compression of volatility, that could mean something could be coming. Generally, the market's underpriced in volatility, but that's the realized volatility on 180 days rolling, and it's had record lows. Wednesday, price continued to go lower given there was the Dixie with the dollar index was increasing. So that basically impacts on risk assets. And then also the Japanese government bond yields hit their highest level. The 10-year yield hit its highest level in over 20 years. Wow. So this is obviously led to a pullback in risk assets.
Yeah. Interesting. There's some fascinating stuff going on in Japan at the moment. I was recording a video this morning, which we'll be putting out fairly soon, about all the stuff happening over in Japan, because it is relevant not just to sort of wider macro economics, but also to crypto as well.
The first ever Japanese female prime minister, right?
Yeah. But spoiler alert, she may not last.
Okay.
they are going
Liz
through.
Truss. It's going to last longer than a head of lettuce. Or?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if a Japanese tabloid is doing a similar thing, but maybe they should, because it's all looking a bit dicey for the Japanese prime minister. Anyway, what happened on Thursday?
On Thursday, well, the slight pullback in Bitcoin did not deter the bullish Luxembourgers, because they were the first Eurozone country to purchase Bitcoin, invest in Bitcoin, and Morgan Stanley, which opened its crypto access to all its clients amid Wall Street shift to digital assets, opening up the floodgates to all the pensioners and people who wanted to invest in a relatively good risk return asset.
Well, yes, well, certainly risk. I kind of feel that the next EU summit, the Luxembourg finance minister is probably going to be sort of there in a corner, just like don't let anyone see you.
Yeah, the Czech central bank governor, like, we dodged a bullet there, not buying Bitcoin.
Yeah. So that takes us to Friday. Bitcoin was kind of trending up again.
Yeah, exactly. And the Luxembourgers and the Morgan Stanley clients are probably feeling good that they bought the dip. But then it came out of nowhere.
You knew we were going to have the goat in this stream, folks. Don't pretend you were in denial about it.
The goat was looking at the Bitcoin chart, to be fair.
I mean, look at it. Yeah,
come on.
I mean, that's pretty much the noise I made on Friday night. So.
Oh man!
Yeah. So obviously, as Nick alluded to at the beginning of the stream, this was the largest liquidation event in crypto history. And what's kind of wild is that there's a lot of speculation from well-informed sources that it could actually have been a way lot bigger than we actually know.
Exactly. Well, because basically how these liquidations are recorded on tracking websites such as CoinGlass, they rely on APIs, right, that have access to the exchanges, and these exchanges generally have API limits, and they can't fire off enough sending it out to the CoinGlass websites, etc. And as a result, it doesn't get a full picture of all the liquidations. So many have estimated that it was way larger. But this is, of course, caused by Trump, in terms of the old tariff. The old tariff thing popped up again.
Tariffs. They've been messing with us all year. They've been screwing us up all year, and we keep forgetting about them, don't we?
Yeah,
we
indeed.
keep thinking, it's fine. It's all being handled. they're dealing with it, and then it comes
Why
back.
does he do it on Friday after markets close, going into a low liquidity weekend? Can't you choose any other day of the week?
I know. It's sort of like you actually really would like to have a word with him about it. It's like, could you at least drop these absolute bombshells when the markets are still open and we can maybe do something about it?
But it was absolute carnage, man. I don't know if you guys tracked some of these coins, but like the likes of Atom went to like 0 at some exchanges. It's madness.
I mean, what you see looking at CoinGecko is not what actually happened on some of these exchanges. The prices plunged way lower. I think Sui went to about 55 cents or something like that.
Steal at that price.
I mean, I didn't know the dip was happening. I was too busy getting onto the third bottle of wine.
Oh, man.
It's talk about ignorance being bliss, I tell you.
But then on the weekend, there was a swift recovery out of the worst of the liquidations, right? We pulled up from the massive, that candle. Well,
managed to pull out of the tailspin somewhat.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It was a bit of sideways action, and it was slightly recovering over the weekend. But now it's beginning to retrace a little bit. It's now trading at about 114.6K.
Yeah.
So what's coming this week? Well, there's lots of Fed speeches. Still no government data because, hey, the government is still closed.
Remember that? Government shut down. This is what happens. Trump has Trump bored. He hasn't got anything else to do, so he starts tweeting.
But don't worry don't worry about China. It was just a bad moment he had. It was just a little bad moment.
Yeah. Don't worry about China. It will all be fine.
So he causes all this carnage to the crypto markets over the weekend just to tweet, sorry guys, don't worry. It's just had a bad moment. Just a little.
You imagine someone having a word with him. It's like, Mr. President, people are very upset. The crypto bros are beside themselves.
Yeah, man, your crypto portfolio is down big. What? No, okay, then you need to recover that. Anyways, on the charts, let's take a quick look at some charts. On the charts, this is the long-term monthly chart, which I've shared a few times before. This basically is a trend line drawn on the monthly chart since it's marked the top of the cycle in 2017, 2021. And in the past few months, we've basically been close to breaking above this long-term trend line. But for the past 3 months, the breakouts have been rejected, and we've closed the month below the trend line. So that's not a good sign. Hopefully this month we will be able to close above it. And if we do, that's a breakout. But if not, the bulls are losing control here. And I'll also note that the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator at the bottom, is going through lower highs, which shows that momentum is slowing on the long-term monthly chart.
Okay.
On the daily chart, now this is interesting. We clearly, were rejected from that resistance. Quite a significant rejection. It's like, that's like a massive L. That was a massive L on that rejection.
That is the sort of rejection you need counselling to get over. Yeah, we were rejected. Yeah.
We rejected from that resistance. We now fall into, like I said, about 114K. Now, where to from here? I will note that the 61.8%, which is the golden Fibonacci retracement or golden Fibonacci extension ratio, is at about 110K from the extension up from the lows in July.
Okay.
And what else is over there at the 110K level? That is the CME gap. And
yes.
Yes, we have still not cleared that gap. Even though we took a massive dump over the weekend, the CME was also closed. So the gap still exists over there. So we should ideally close it. One more chart I will want to show you guys. This is basically the long-short bias over on Hyperliquid. And it showed that there was a steep rise in net shorts just prior to the liquidation, which we'll get onto in a bit. But it has also stayed cautiously so the net shorts are still outweighing the longs. So the market on Hyperliquid in terms of perps is still very much positioned to the short side.
So still a lot of fear out there.
Still
in the
a lot
markets.
But if you guys want someone to guide in hand throughout these market conditions, we will of course refer you to Coinbureau Trading. And congratulations to the guys, because last week they broke 100K. And as you were saying, Guy, alt season officially starts when Coinbureau Trading breaks 100Ks.
Did I say that?
And funnily enough, we broke 100K on Friday. just before everything completely collapsed.
God, this is awkward. Look, yeah, it's that final flush before we go higher.
So what
It's
happens
all
when
part
it
of
hits
the
1 million viewers then?
If Coin Bureau trading hits 1 million, it's all over.
It's all
It's
over.
all over.
Ice Age, bro.
We'll all have to get into Pokemon cards or something. So hit that subscribe button for Coin Bureau Trading. But seriously, congratulations to Dan, Aaron, Gabby, and everyone else on the team there. They've done a fantastic job and continue to do so. So all the best to them.
Speaking of someone who actually did predict the massive flush out we saw last week Friday, this is our new host over on Coin Bureau Espanol. And this is Crypto Cedric. He's a new trader over there. He's a seasoned trader, and he's won numerous competitions as well on crypto exchanges. YouTube actually does auto dub Spanish to English now. So you guys can actually go and also watch Coin Bureau Espanol and hear his AI voice teach you some crypto TA. So you just scan that QR code, go and sign up and subscribe to Coin Bureau Espanol if you're Spanish, and if you're not, because you can go and follow Crypto Cedric's insights over there.
Or you could not use the dubbing and practice your Spanish if you're learning it. What better way to learn Spanish than from Cedric and Marva?
And some crypto TA, yeah, exactly. You have to pay attention, otherwise you'll get wrecked.
Absolutely, absolutely. We like to give you as much as we can.
Yeah. How's the comments? How's the sentiment looking?
Okay, I got to hand it to our people in the comments. Generally, they are very, very positive. Crypto Rich Rick will go back to 120k plus. I got to say, Crypto Rich Rick, I kind of agree with you on that one. I don't know how quickly.
What time frame are we talking about? This cycle?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling positive about it. Oxford Road Coach, welcome back, sir. First it was Wall Street, then the banks, now crypto. Handcart to the ready. Next stop, hell. Okay, slightly bearish. I think we're laughing about it. Gene Francis, good day, gents. Sending positive vibes from Swindon, even though I was properly shafted this weekend. Well, nothing but positive vibes ever came out of Swindon, Gene. So that's good to hear. Joe says, guy looks rough as ever. Thank you, Joe. Well, I mean, after the weekend we've had, what do you expect? I mean, wow. Okay.
Probably all those bottles of wine, not the liquidations.
I mean, yeah, I did look like crap on Saturday, and it wasn't all crypto's fault.
Waking up with a hangover and then seeing the markets.
I tell you, it's a double whammy. I was just sat there at my computer like, oh God, why? Left work early for this morning. GMCB. That's the spirit, not your day.
There you go.
I hope your boss isn't watching. So when I suggested what Nick, that Nick could dress up for a future stream.
God.
Carolina. I've got to say, Investigations, I would pay good money not to see that.
Dude, I don't even think I can replicate that. How could I replicate that look?
I don't know. I think you're sort of the polar opposite of Caroline Ellison. And a lot of people, including Crypto Knight's cat, got scared by the goat. Guys, we sensed you might be you might be nodding off, so we reintroduced the goat. Yeah, it'll come for you. And Shoaib makes a good point. So perps trading, right? Yeah, that is indeed kind of the elephant in the room, but we are going to talk about that in just a minute. Yeah. But yes, thank you for all those comments. Keep them coming, and keep those likes coming as well if you want me to do 30% next week.
30% to watching Guy next week as SPF.
Not bad, not bad, but we can do better.
Let's go, guys.
Okay, Nick. What happened?
WTF? What happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's roll back quickly. October 10th afternoon, about 2 to 4 p.m. PM Eastern Time, Trump decided to fire off an official tweet that said he'd now impose 100% tariff on China starting on November 1st. Obviously, this caught the market by surprise, not least of which the crypto market. Yeah. And crazy in terms of what happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, so Bitcoin, as we've discussed, lost about 5 to 7%, down to 110K within minutes, 13% in a single hour. Yeah. ETH, as you can imagine, didn't do much better. And the less said about altcoins, the better. It was an absolute bloodbath.
The stocks also tanked, with the NASDAQ down 3.6%, Dow down 900 points, etc. So wiping out $1.6 trillion in US equities. Yeah.
But what I think is important to point out here, though, is that I think maybe one of the reasons why crypto got so badly hit is obviously because it's crypto and extremely volatile. But I kind of think because it was, getting on towards towards market close. The markets were winding down for the weekend. I think crypto being perhaps the only market that was open in, for a lot of the hours following the crash, and obviously the liquidations on exchanges. I wonder if that kind of played a part as well, as people kind of sold off what they could sell off.
Yeah, this is it indeed. But of course, the liquidations did precipitate it quite aggressively. So speaking about those liquidations, they were massive. Obviously, the reported numbers, as we said, were probably much larger than we expected. And this is because of two reasons. One of these is because of cross-margin issues. So basically, when you have a perps account on an exchange, you have what's called isolated margin and cross-margin. With isolated margin, your position, your individual position with a particular altcoin, you have your margin allocated to that particular position, right? So if your position goes towards, it depletes all your available margin, you get liquidated on just that position. With cross-margin, they cross it across all your different positions, right?
Okay.
So if you have multiple different altcoin positions and you've chosen to cross-margin across your accounts, what will happen is if you have one position that's going increasingly negative, right, and you're not going to only be liquidated on that, it's going to also go into your other accounts, right, and you liquidate those positions because you're aggregating all of those positions into one. So that's what happens when you have a cross-margin liquidation. And that's why many of the different altcoins with people who held many different positions across different altcoins got liquidated all at once.
Okay, so there were kind of structural factors at play, quite beside the fact that so many people were levered up to the eyeballs.
Exactly, that's it. And another issue on the exchanges, which is actually very interesting because it's quite rare and many people don't really know about it. And this is what's called auto deleveraging or ADL. And this is a risk management mechanism on exchanges. Basically, usually when you have longs, you've got shorts, an equal amount of shorts. You know, the longs pay the shorts, and if a long is losing, the shorts will be winning. But in a particular situation like this, when it's so precipitous and you have all the longs being flushed out, and then there's no longer anyone to come into the market on the opposite trade of the shorts, then they have to automatically deleverage the shorts and close out of these positions. So imagine if you held a short position overnight and you were expecting to wake up in the morning and see that your position was nice in profit, and you learned that the night beforehand it was automatically deleveraged for you. You'd be very angry.
Yeah.
And it's even worse for those people who run sort of pairs trade strategies where they go long one altcoin and short another. And basically, imagine if you were, for example, you went long Bitcoin and then short ETH or something, and then your ETH position was deleveraged and your short position was deleveraged, but then your long position was kept on, so you were liquidated on your long and then your short position wasn't even open. So you got completely screwed. Anyways, that also happened. So ADL happened across many different exchanges.
Okay, so there were a lot of different factors at play, all regarding this leverage. I mean, I think, obviously people should trade with leverage knowing the risks. I'm sure a lot of people who were using leverage this time around probably weren't aware of risks like that, of things like auto deleveraging. So this will have, this is, not a good look. This only reinforces the sense that in a lot of people's minds that the market is kind of rigged against them. And whether that is true on a sort of overall view or not, the fact is that perps trading is kind of a loser's game. You've really, really got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, chances are you will lose money.
Yeah, exactly. You should have stops in place. You should never really look to get liquidated. And if you are going to be liquidated, use isolated margins so you know it's just for that particular position. But Hyperliquid, the perp dex that's taken the market by storm, surprisingly, no downtime, zero downtime. It operated just as is, which is amazing. Not so much for the sexes, though, for the centralized exchanges.
Binance in particular has been under fire and talked about a lot, and that was because it's, from what I've been seeing, it's kind of inaccurate to call this a depegging of USDE on Binance, and we might get into the whys and wherefores of that in a little while. But basically, at some point on USDE, on Binance, there appears to have been what people are calling a coordinated attack, which saw USDE dip to around 65 cents, albeit briefly.
Whether it was an attack, we don't know. I mean, that's just speculation. But what did happen was that on Binance itself, USDE and including WBETH, which is like an ETH-wrapped version, and then BN Sol as well, they fell a lot. And that's because Binance referenced, in terms of price, they didn't reference external Oracle price feeds, they reference the price that was being presented on Binance itself, which is determined by the order books, right? And in this extreme scenario, when you have these massive liquidations, they're referencing potentially an inaccurate price. And as a result, USDE did on Binance fall to 65 cents. And in this case, the exchange engines realize, oh, well, now we have to liquidate other positions because the collateral has fallen by 40%. So essentially, this led to also help precipitate these massive liquidations. And also part of the reason came down to the fact that although Binance is referencing the price feeds on its own exchange, the USD itself didn't depeg because on the primary exchanges, the primary venues like Bybit, and also on Curve, where it's done in a DeFi space, there wasn't a big move away from the actual $1 peg.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why it happened there. And as a result of this, Binance has agreed to compensate some users after these depegs.
Yeah, and rightly so. I mean, in the aftermath of something like this, obviously it's a disaster, but if lessons can be learned from it, then at least, all is not lost. So you would hope that Binance and, any other exchange affected by this are currently going over, their protocols, etc., because this can't happen again. We know that crypto is volatile, but if we don't have the proper structures in place, and obviously this news about USDE, I mean, Athena's ENA token, which happens to be one of the ones in my portfolio, was one of the hardest hits. But I should point out that Athena and every other DeFi protocol continued working as normal. And that is a really important thing to remember. This is something we were at pains to point out when FTX happened a few years ago. Crypto itself did not break. This was an external factor. In the case of FTX, it was Sam Bankman-Fried doing crime. And in this case, it was too much leverage. But I think it's really important to underline the fact that crypto protocols continued to work as they should have done.
Did, as always, indeed. Speaking of Hyperliquid, some traders did get completely wrecked, including some of the biggest traders there. So we saw multiple accounts that were completely zeroed, including one who lost full 19 million in their account.
Oh.
But someone did win.
Yes.
Suspiciously.
There does always seem to be at least one winner these days, doesn't there? This was. So this was on Hyperliquid. Again, someone had opened large shorts on BTC and ETH, I think it was, a few days prior to this.
Not days, literally minutes.
But I think I think they had short positions a few days prior, but then like literally half an hour before Trump's Truth Social post, they suddenly added to those positions big time. Yeah. So there's definitely something very sus.
Very sus about it. Such criming, guys. We do miss some regulations. Let's be honest. I must admit it. How the tables have turned.
I don't normally spend time wondering what's going on in Gary Gensler's head, but I would give a pretty penny for his thoughts right now, because I'm sure he has.
He's probably sitting there at MIT with his cushy job saying, if you don't like me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. He's just sitting there like, you know what, guys, you chose to call it quits. I was going to come bring some security, safety to your life, but you went rogue, to the streets with you. One for the streets.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's a certain irony, isn't there, that the SEC and indeed all other government agencies are currently closed during this whole thing as well. So I imagine
I can't be dealing with this shit.
I imagine all the regulators are kind of sitting at home going like,
what do you want us to do?
What do you want us to do?
Yeah. Oh man. Anyways,
crazy.
If you guys are looking to, indeed potentially buy the dip, or trade this chaos, and you want an exchange that isn't going to auto deleverage your position, then take a look at Bitget.
Yes,
this is our brand partner, Bitget. All you need to do, we also still have this iPhone competition going on. So if you guys want to enter that competition, which will be given, we'll basically select a winner from the first 100 traders, and we'll give away an iPhone during the stream. So all you need to do is sign up with that link over there, and not only will you be entered into the competition, but you'll also can avail yourself of up to $50,000 in sign-up bonuses. And not just that, of course, there's many other reasons why you'd want to use Bitget.
Yep, they're one of the fastest growing exchanges in the world. They've got some of the highest spot volume out there. They've got all the trending coins, tokens, shit coins that you need. They've got great liquidity in spot and futures market. Very important nowadays. And they've also got tons of cool and innovative features like copy trading, AI tools, etc.
Yeah. Cool.
What happens now, Nick?
Now,
Now what?
so now we answered the question, WTF happened, and now we answer the question, WTF happens now.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at a few markets. Firstly, on the Bitcoin side, we looked at the short to medium term. Of course, we've got today ETFs. Market should have opened in the US right now. It'll be interesting to see because all the people who held the ETFs couldn't sell their shares over the weekend.
Yes.
So we'll see how the inflows will look today. Keep an eye on that. But in terms of the longer term, it's worth mentioning the parallels with the crash we saw after COVID. And it's interesting that we had a massive rally after that. Now, whether you think it's analogous or not, is up for debate. But that's what happened after COVID and also in past Octobers, right?
Yeah. It's not always October.
Yeah, not always.
And October, we have seen some big crashes before. There's slight diminishing returns over time, but it's not unheard of for a crash of this magnitude to be followed by a healthy rally.
Exactly. And October's, there was, out of the 4, there were 3 where you did see a big rally after that.
Yeah.
And now, when it comes to ETH, right, I think that people do expect a rebound soon because it hit a bull market support, including our friend over there from Into the Cryptoverse, Mr. Benjamin Kahn, right?
Now this is huge
this is
because
big news.
Ben has been very vocal, talking about the need for Ethereum to go home. And congrats to him because he has made some very
calls.
accurate calls recently. And he is out there now on Twitter and YouTube saying that next stop is an all-time high for Ethereum. So Ben Cowan is bullish ETH, folks.
That's a sign.
He is. Ben is not someone who throws price predictions around willy-nilly. So that is a very interesting angle to take, and we'll be keeping a very close eye on that. So we could see a kind of V-shaped recovery like we saw after COVID. I'll remind you then that ETH went from around $90 to $4,800.
Yeah, so we shall see.
Dream.
Now, on the altcoin side, well, I mean, they were the hardest hit, right? So many were 70% or more down. But some are seeing this as a kind of a reset. So leverage was stretched across long tail tokens. So when liquidity vanished, the wipeout was severe. But it, of course, cleared the decks for a faster reset. And this is actually a chart from Glassnode. And it shows that, of course, it was one of the biggest liquidation events since 2022. But it's also now showing that because a lot of the funding rates have been reset, we can potentially continue the rallies in altcoins without the speculative perps funding rates being extremely high, and as a result holding up all the leverage in the system. So one could say we could have now an organic rally in altcoins.
There is a definite argument to be made that a leverage flush is a good thing in the long run, and we kind of need it.
Just a little bit of bloodletting, just get it out there.
A little bit of colonic irrigation. Just flush all that nonsense out of your system.
Speaking of getting flushed out, the others to BTC pair was completely annihilated. You can see that candle down there. that's a lightsaber. The lightsaber indicator, the lightsaber candle.
Yeah.
That really took it down there. I mean, it seems to be recovering right now. So this is the others to BTC chart. The others being all the other coins below 10 in market cap. So are we still on track for a bull run, an alt season?
Well, there's this article in Cointelegraph that seems to be calling for that. Bitcoin slump may rebound up to 21% in 7 days if history repeats.
Yes,
like
big if.
A big if. History doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. So there is historical precedent for what could happen next. And a lot of people, us included, have kind of called this a healthy pullback. So not the end of the cycle by any means.
Healthy pullback. Yeah, that was healthy.
Yeah.
Detox, big detox. But so guys, when in doubt, zoom out, eh? I mean,
I thought you were going to be more positive than that. Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's still in the car and he's not walking.
He hasn't had to get out and crawl, so that's good. Well, let's have a look at what some other people are saying. Tom Lee, who's become one of crypto's main characters this cycle, he says, quote, "This pullback is a buying opportunity. Unless structural change will see the market close low but rebound." So Tom Lee is bullish. I mean, I kind of feel he has to be, doesn't he?
Yeah, has to be. He's bet his entire reputation on ETH recovering.
I kind of think if he came out and was like, "Nah, we're
done.
cooked," it's sort of
cooked,
that
guys.
wouldn't be the best
I
idea.
was wrong purpose. I should have gone. I'm going back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin Treasury Company. Sell
Yeah.
all Bitmine ETH and go and buy Bitcoin. I mean,
Just pull the ripcord.
pull the ripcord.
Fortunately, though, we have got a counterpoint. I mean, Peter Schiff is always bullish, right?
Bearish, you mean?
No, bullish.
bullish.
Peter Schiff is. Oh no, wait. As bad as Bitcoin looks, Ethereum looks even worse.
Yeah.
So he's wailing on Ethereum now. While Bitcoin is only down about 10% from its record high price in US dollars, Ether is down 21%. I mean, these are great insights, Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
these.
it's
If it breaks support around 3,350, a quick move down to 1,500 is a real risk. Get out now.
Well, I mean, he is wrong to the extent ETH has recovered above 4,000, but I will give it to Peter Schiff. I mean, as a gold bug, he's probably feeling pretty happy right now with these gold investments. So.
Yeah. I think
New
he's
all-time high today, by the way, on gold again.
another one.
And silver.
So we're now comfortably above 4K for gold.
Crazy.
Welcome everyone to Gold Bureau. Today's
The
live
rebranding
stream. Coins, are they better than bars? And a look at silver for all you degenerates.
The fundamental difference between the two. Let's go.
So, I mean, Nick, what are your kind of before we move on? What are your kind of personal thoughts on this? I mean, as someone who has been through, most of crypto's ups and downs over the years, how does this one feel in relation to previous ones? How do you feel given all your years of experience? What's your gut telling you?
I'm tired, boss. No, I mean, I honestly think that, look, I mean, like I've said multiple times, I think alts will rally, but it's not going to be broad. It's not going to be the altcoin season we once had. All these people that are crowing about altcoin seasons coming, get ready. We're going to see some alts rally, and we're going to see ETH going back above all-time highs again, given that it's the closest from the rotational shift from Bitcoin, and indeed some of the other altcoins that are going to get access through these ETFs.
Yeah.
But you have to focus very much on the narratives that resonate with new retail, the narratives that are things about revenue generation narratives as well, and coins that have easy access for people to buy through either ETFs or exchange listings. But yeah, you can't just go and throw a dart at CoinMarketCap and hope that your altcoin's going to recover. Some altcoins you may hold may be down big. They may not recover, especially if they're the 2021 special or 2022 special. So yeah, I'm still optimistic, but I think that, it's not going to be as big and broad as people think. And this washout, to be honest, it wasn't anything wrong with the altcoins per se, as we said. It's just the leverage that caused this massive liquidation. I do hope that we don't have this event again, but knowing crypto traders, kind of like goldfish, bro, and probably like a week or two, you'll see open interest at all-time highs again. And
I wouldn't bet against it. I think it's really important to underline, the role of leverage in this. Obviously, we've seen what happened on the exchanges, but what I think is perhaps partly responsible for just the sheer scale of this wipeout is that I think recently perps and leverage have started to become a lot more accessible for everyday crypto users, because a lot of people would go on to Bybit or, any of the other big perps exchanges, centralized perps exchanges in the past. And, it wasn't always very easy to understand. And, I think perps trading was generally regarded as something that, only expert traders could do. However, in the last few months or so, we've seen perps become a lot more accessible. I've talked before about the fact that you can use them through Phantom Wallet now, and it's very easy. MetaMask introduced them last week. I think we're going to see them in other kind of wallet venues as well. And suddenly, these perps have become much easier for the average user to use. And I think there's that sense as well that because altcoins have struggled so much, people are chasing those 100x, those 1000x returns, and kind of perps, easy access perps have come along at the quote unquote right time, or wrong time as it happens. And a lot of people are using them without really understanding how dangerous they are. Maybe they get a big win. Maybe they get a 200% return overnight and think that they've mastered it. And that is not the case. Perps can wipe you out quicker than anything. And there's a reason why people in the past have said that, the three biggest dangers in life, ladies, liquor, and leverage. And, leverage is the worst of them. So I think, people, if people have been using perps out there or are curious about them, they may make them easier to use these days, but that does not mean they are child's play. Quite the opposite. And, I think that's been reflected in some of the losses that we've seen. Even experts, even accomplished traders with like 7, 8, 9-figure positions were getting wiped out in this one. And I think that's worth bearing in mind. Perps are really dangerous.
Yep, they are. So you'll just want to chill in spot, guys, because if you were in spot over the weekend, you wouldn't have seen all of this. You wouldn't have been taken out of your position. And if you have your crypto in spot, you're going to want to secure it in cold storage, self-custodial cold storage. And the best place we can think to do that is on a Tangem hardware wallet. It's your all-in-one crypto solution with no seed phrases, no middlemen, no compromises. It's just tap and go.
Absolutely. They've, really easy to set up, and you can use it not only as a hardware device, but also as a web wallet as well. Highly recommended.
Yeah, they've also got a special promo going on right now for their Tangem ring. You'll get 15% off the ring right now. And on top of that, you can use our code and our QR code QR code on the screen, and then the link down below to get an additional 10% off the device. And they also have a Bitcoin reward going on right now. So anyone who places an order during the promotional period will receive an email with instructions to redeem the reward. So this should take about 14 days after the activation. So again, use the QR code over there on the screen, link down below, and grab yourself a Tangem device.
Absolutely. Okay, let's have a look at last week's top performers. Can you believe it? There were some did well.
Well, they performed only in the past day from a complete low. So yes, there were some performers.
You're so cynical, Nick.
I'm just being true.
Come on. Let's have a bit more of that can-do attitude, shall we?
I'm wearing a McDonald's cap, bro.
Fair enough. Okay, first of last week's top performers was Synthetics, old school. We're talking about perps. This is the original, or one of the original Ethereum perp dexes. Now, the pump, which as Nick so cynically pointed out, has come only very recently, it seemed to coincide with the fact that they've got the Wintermute CEO. I bet he had an interesting weekend. The Wintermute CEO is joining their $1 million 100 trader trading competition.
And his first trade was to go long Synthetics. Pump it up.
There we are. So that's SNX. What's next, Nick?
Zcash or ZEC.
Wow.
So this has been pumping actually over the past 2 weeks quite a lot. And there's many theories around there, including Dan, our head of research. His theory is that Bitcoin has been swapped into ZEC, and they're using shielded transactions to try and hide or obfuscate the TX history. Maybe that Hyperliquid whale has been stashing his Bitcoin into Zcash to cash out.
Maybe.
But I also think there was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Naval Ravikant.
Yes.
He's quite a big VC guy out in Silicon Valley. Wise guy, yeah. Yes. And he said, he made a comment to the effect of, Zcash is the new Bitcoin or something like that. I may be paraphrasing there, but yeah.
Yeah. Privacy is definitely a thing in crypto at the moment, and for good reason, which brings us on to our next top performer of the week, which was Dash. Gosh, I mean,
that's OG, bro.
Two OGs in a row. I mean, Dash has been around since almost the beginning. Another OG privacy coin. My best bet is that it's kind of catching a beta play bet on ZEC.
We got an interesting story about Dash, right, Guy?
I do have an interesting story about Dash. I unfortunately can't share it here. But...
Okay. We'll share it separately. Maybe in the Coin Bureau Club Discord, you guys can sign up and go and follow down below. But yeah, interesting story about the Dash and how Guy actually got a job offer from Dash. But he'll share that in the Discord.
Once upon a time.
Okay.
Next up on the list is Bitensor. Now, there's a fairly straightforward reason why Tau has been pumping, and that is that Grayscale has just filed for a Tau trust. And obviously, this is no coincidence given that Grayscale is run by one Barry Silbert, who happens to be a massive Tau bull.
It's crazy, man. Pivoted completely from Bitcoin to Tau.
Yeah.
And then finally, well, this is no surprise, BNB. So, of course, you guys know fundamentally it gets burned with every transaction on Binance. And there was a fair few of them over the weekend.
Quite busy on Binance,
Quite busy on Binance, you know.
Yeah.
Non-voluntary trades going on.
But it's not just the burn of BNB on Binance, which, if you'll recall, I'm sure you do, was doing pretty well before Friday. But also China has stepped in. China. China Renaissance, a Beijing-backed investment bank, raising $600 million to establish a BNB fund.
Big news, yeah. So is it BNB season again, guy? It was good for like 2 days here last week. Season.
That just came and went so quickly. We went from BNB, and then all the sort of coins in its ecosystem. CZ was tweeting about them, wasn't he? And then suddenly it was like, right, yeah, done with that. Privacy coins. Privacy.
Solana guys bridging to BNB. Yeah, no, we don't yet.
Yeah, what a week. I mean, sometimes it's hard to keep up, isn't it? Okay, how are we doing on the lights?
70%, guys. We're 70% of the way to getting Guy to wearing SBF do next week. Come on, man. So close.
You're within touching distance. Hammer that like button.
Come on, guys.
Like there's no tomorrow. Okay, it is time now for some TA with the one and only Lewis, our other host here on Coin Bureau. Lewis was bearish a couple of weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, exactly, he was bearish. It's just so unfortunate because he called it just before we had a scam up to 126 or 106K all-time high. And I don't know if that kind of, but we'll have to see what his analysis is like this week.
Let's see if he's doing a victory lap or not. Lewis, over to you, sir.
Show the way. Lewis brings the TA today.
Well, guys, it looks like we made it to the dystopian land of Ed, and Eddie over here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the Coin Bureau page and watch this video right here, Bitcoin CME Gap. It's from 2 weeks ago, and watch my TA on it, and then watch the very, very ending of it. And I just got to play what Nick said at the end of it. So let me just click on this and go to the end of it really quickly.
AI version of Ed, and Eddie in a dystopian, death society. What the hell is this, bro?
Is that Nick on the right?
What the hell? No, guys,
Nick at the end of the bear market.
Man, NGMI.
Lewis has done all right. Lewis looks pretty healthy.
Lewis, mate, because he sold his bags and they took his advice.
He was bearish at the right time.
He was bearish at the right time.
Oh, horrible.
God.
So Guy and Nick were right. I was bearish at the right time, okay? And then if you go back to last week's video, you could see that I said, okay, I was more bullish after the run-up, but I was still pretty cautious, and I put in a bunch of steak bids on Aster and on Cake. So if we go to Cake, if you put the stink bids in, or if you put the bids in right where I said it, you're not doing too bad right now. It's up 30% from this area, or I guess if you just take it from the top, it's up, like 20%, but that's not too bad. And I look over at Aster, I want to see where this was, that's not too bad either. This is actually really good. So as long as you don't use leverage, and I think obviously that's the big thing here. That's the whole thing that's been going on this week. As long as you either don't use leverage or you manage your risk with leverage. So I'll just say this, I do use leverage. But the way that I use leverage is like this. I never use stink bids with leverage, because you could always have something like this happen. And let's say you put your stink bids in here, it wicks all the way down and you get stopped out, right? But what I do is I will put alerts in, and then when the areas get hit, then I will go into the smaller time frames or the lower time frames, and I will, put a leverage position on. Let's just say, for example, do something like, actually, this is actually what I would literally do. Do something like this. So I see that this candle formed, and then I'll put a leverage position on here. So I know my risk, and I have my risk, and it is plotted out. So if you're going to use leverage, you have to have stop losses, of course. And you have to make sure that, your risk is accounted for. But if you just use spot, you could put in stink bids and you could have them and it's fine. So yeah, for Aster and for Cake, the two that I had on the last stream, they're up. So for everyone who said that I was a counter indicator, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
So now the question is, what the heck do we do from here? Well, honestly, I'm getting more confident that that was the bottom because what are we going to do if that wasn't? I don't think we're going to come down and sweep the lows of like 80% drops on a lot of these altcoins, right? I think that that is what we needed. We needed a reset of all of the built up leverage that was in the system, and we needed to just chill out. And as you saw already, as you mentioned, freaking Trump already took back the whole tweet about China. And so, it was just a misunderstanding, right? So I'm pretty sure that we're going to keep on going up. One thing that's a little concerning to me is the fact that the guy who opened up that short position on Hyperliquid right before the dump just opened up another short position. So that is a little worrisome, but I'm more bullish now than I am bearish. So yeah, I'm looking to long. I actually already longed. I'm full on everything in. I don't have any stables left because I was buying in these zones, right? And one other thing I wanted to mention was like, look at the resilience on Ethereum. It went down 25%. And of course, Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin only went down less than 20% from the top, or maybe it was exactly 20% from the top. These alts went down 50, 60, 70, 80%, 90%, right? But Bitcoin and Ethereum, these are the only ones that clearly have massive amounts of demand and enough liquidity to actually soak that demand up, right? And so if you recall from last week's stream, I said that there's always a sweep of the low, and we finally did get a sweep of the low. And so now that we did get this, I'm looking for higher prices. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't come back down to maybe like 109,000 for Bitcoin or something like that. But like, it's hard for me to think that we're going to continue lower and take out the big lows that we just made a couple days ago. And so essentially, I think it boils down to this. If you got in during the wicks, like let's say you got to Solana at under $170, you're probably really comfortable and you don't have to do anything for quite a while. And that goes for pretty much any coin. Even Doge, for example, if you got into it under 16 cents, you're really comfortable right now, and I probably just wouldn't do anything. However, if you didn't get in, then what I like to do in those situations is to simply go into a higher time frame, plot out the big support area, plot out the big resistance areas. And so for Doge, the big support is at 0.1486 on the higher time frame, and the resistance is at 0.278. And then I ask myself, well, where are we? Okay, well, we're right in the smack dab middle of that, so I need to go into a lower time frame and look for buying opportunities there, and I can see, oh, look what happened at this area a million times, around 0.194. Well, that's been a huge support or a huge resistance, so if we're anywhere in that area, that's where I want to buy. So I'll just set some alerts in these areas, and then if they get hit, then I'll go down into the lower time frames and get them. So that's what I like to do in these situations, is to just like take a step back, look at the bigger picture, plot out the key areas, and then set alerts, and then just let the market come to me, okay? And maybe, I will miss out on a big move up if I'm a little bit too late in doing that, but there's always going to be new opportunities. And with that, I will hand it back over to you guys.
Damn, those victory laps, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, credit to him. Like, I was chatting to him over the weekend over Slack, and he was like, damn, because he had his conviction tested, but he was like, I should have stuck with it, because he said he was, sniffing out some stuff that felt sus in that price action from a couple of weeks ago, and it was only his right. Sort of timing that was off. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, put up the tweets of the week.
Okay. So, do we have tweets? Great.
Great. First one. Speaking of perps and integrations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
yes, man. Good old MetaMask.
Jesus,
it was like, MetaMask introducing perps.
Such a bag of shite, mate. Like, I'm sorry. This weekend was so fucking annoying. Managing multiple different hardware wallets with the MetaMask freezing, trying to close positions, move coins. I'm like, oh God, I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
honestly.
I tried to do a cross-chain swap with MetaMask earlier today, and it was just like...
May the Lord be with you. We tried to do a cross-chain swap with MetaMask.
I know, and it was like USDT on Ethereum to USDC on Base. It's hardly like, it's hardly a path untrodden. And it's just like, wow, this is, how old is this product?
At that point, I'd rather just get hacked on my MetaMask. Never ever have to use that thing again.
Well, you probably haven't got much on it after the weekend. Okay, next up we have this one. I've enjoyed the Dave Ramsey memes this week. My wife is a big fan of Dave Ramsey. But yeah, so you move every dollar you have to Binance Smart Chain. Yes, Dave. And tell me the reason again, because he's going to cry it up, Dave. Yes, God only knows what Dave Ramsey makes of all this. Next up, we have this one from Michael. He's one of the folks over at Euler. That stress test was wild, but DeFi worked flawlessly. No emergency circuit breakers, no regulatory interventions, just free markets and code.
Major upgrade on legacy finance, indeed.
Preach.
And it's also very over collateralized, so that's part of the reason as well.
Yes. Okay. Next up, we have one from. Oh no, not this guy.
again.
Oh god.
Man, but,
What's he honking on about this
to
time?
be fair, I was being philosophical over the weekend, man. I was just having one of these moments. I was like, imagine you're new retail sitting on the sidelines considering investing in crypto. Then you witness a market crash where multiple coins in the top 10 collapse by 50% or more in minutes. You witness mass liquidations with billions upon billions of wealth being evaporated in an instance. You read reports of a massive whale who shorts the market the moment before the crash happens. Do you still invest?
Yeah. Well, my favorite reply to that is Laura Shins. She says yes in spot. Good call,
Fair
Laura.
point. Good call, Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, someone's saying in the comments, Nick has a shirt with Guy on it. Oh no, he's gone.
Oh, that's guy.
He does though. He does. He does. I know.
I secretly, man, I wear that at home. I just got to see Guy's face when I'm looking in the mirror.
And we also have this one from Alan Garrett. Watching my girlfriend get a side of guac at the Chipotle after my $600,000 perp position
That's
just
Guy
got
at the
evaporated.
restaurant live when he sees his wife ordering. I must tell you,
Another bottle of wine.
I was planning to go to Nobu over the weekend, but when I saw the markets, I was like, no, let's rather go for coffee. At my place, I'll make the coffee.
Wow, sounds like a good one. Okay, so that is tweets for the week. I mean, let's face it. When you get a crisis like this in crypto, one of the upsides to it is that you always get some banger tweets. I mean, I saw some really good stuff on the timeline when I was able to wipe the tears out of my eyes for long enough to actually read them. Yeah, that was every cloud. Any dates for the diary or coins to watch this week,
On the
Nick?
macro front, just the 16th of October, the PPI, producer price inflation numbers are coming out. So the headline is 0.3% expected versus 0.1% the previous.
Okay.
Initial jobless claims, no, because the government is shut down.
Yes.
Lol. And on the coin front, just keep you guys on everything, guys. Like there's going to be a lot of opportunities now, given that we had that massive flush out. So hopefully there'll be some opportunities for you to buy the dip.
Yep, absolutely. Keep an eye. It's going to be an interesting week this week. Hopefully in a good way, rather than the interesting of last week. Just a quick look over at the comments. Florida Croquet Girl says, P.S. World Association Croquet Tourney at National Croquet Center, October 14th, 26. Good diversion from crypto and free to watch. Nice bar. Well, you got me at nice bar. That's for
nice.
sure.
Okay,
Have you ever
Florida.
played croquet, Nick?
And it's not a sport on the top of my to-do list, to be honest.
It is very good fun. I have played.
Why am I not surprised you've played croquet?
I've played a few rounds of croquet in my time. It's very good. It's actually quite vicious. As in like aggressive gameplay.
Did you
and
wake
what
up
have you.
one day and say, I'm going to go and try play some croquet? Or was it like a grandmother invited you to come play croquet?
No, I
with
just opened up one day, saw the sun was shining, opened the French windows, and went out into the lawn. Obviously, yes.
You can be playing bowls next weekend, bro.
Okay, and yeah, lots of people in the comments. Never do leverage trading. 95% will lose. They will scam the life out of you. The only thing I would disagree with that, Rex Heineken, if that really is your name, probably 95% is a bit low.
Yeah,
I'd say probably more like 98, 99%. But yes, as we said, folks, leverage was the villain out there on Friday and will remain so. So if you're determined to use it, be very, very careful and expect to lose everything. Because like I said, even experienced traders lost out this week. Guy knows, it's Brett again. Guy knows nothing about real sport, but does know all about girls' sports from the 1600s. Croquet is not a girls' sport, and it's well, I mean, but girls can play, and I'm sure it's older than the 1600s. Yes, well, I think on that
The
bombshell,
leisurely activity you like to do, guys, gardening. So
yeah, which you can also combine with making a nice croquet lawn. Everyone's a winner. Okay, folks.
what's that? We had 90% though.
We're at 90% likes.
The guys who got the last chance to get to see 959.
Ooh,
Okay. So we need how many more? Come on, guys. 41 more likes. Come on, let's go. Let's go for a few more comments. Let's see if we give them a bit of time. Any other comments out there, guys?
Okay, let's have a look again. People, this is a good point. Is leverage the villain or greed?
That's true. Leverage is just a mechanism. Yeah, exactly. You need someone to go and push the buttons, right? You need someone to actually do it.
Yeah, leverage just is enabled by greed. Leverage is just a tool of greed.
People that want more returns, higher returns, instead of just chilling in spot, being comfortable with holding Bitcoin as is, they want to go and increase their chances of potentially making more, but risking a lot.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, again, a few people have mentioned sort of the tariff madness and stuff. Actually, what was interesting, and we should point out as well, was on Thursday. I think this actually all started on Thursday with an announcement from China that they were going to be adding restrictions on rare earths. And this, obviously rare earths that are in everything, every sort of electronic device you can think of. And I think this seems to have been what kind of, prodded Trump into retaliating and stuff. So it does suggest that, China is we're basically at the whims of China, of Beijing and Washington at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't kind of help that that Trump's way of doing business.
Oh, yeah.
Is that true? James Wynn hates you, guy. I have heard that. Yeah.
Why though? Why? Who could hate you guys?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there are plenty of people.
Why?
Yes. I wonder how James Wynn got on this weekend.
Yeah, I wonder if he was on any spaces or anything.
Yeah.
Was he on any spaces?
I don't know. I don't know if you were on any spaces. Okay. We got 1,000 likes, I think, 100%. So I will do next week's stream dressed as Sam Bankman-Fried. With the right of James Wynn. So thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been a great stream, and we will see you again next week. Take care out there.
Cheers, guys.
After those episodes in Singapore, looks like Nick's stomach still hasn't recovered. Now he's struggling to digest Dan's words too. Nice shirt. My uncle uses a similar when he goes bowling. I love Bitcoin. You guys are polar opposite and perfect friend. Love it. I eat food for breakfast. Very sweet how Guy gets so excited about the stocks. Turtle! You guys amazing. Hey guys, cheers for all help. Very sweet how Guy gets so excited about the stocks. Turtle! You guys amazing. Hey guys, cheers for all help.
So do you have anything vegetarian? Yeah, is there salad? Is there salad?
There's tofu vegetarian burgers, yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, I have a tofu burger salad. Do you have any zucchini? Do you have like zucchini fries or
Unfortunately,
zucchini?
not zucchini fries. No, just normal fries.
Or do you have like I don't know, like an aubergine or something?
Aubergine, I
or
can see what the
courgette?
kitchen can do.
Okay, yeah, because I don't eat any meat.